On this edition of America's 250 Red, White, and You, we're celebrating a Memphis man's impact on the grocery industry. Now, whether you shop online or browse the aisle at the supermarket near your house, all of that might not have been possible without the innovative efforts of Clarence Saunders. His store, Piggly Wiggly, gave customers power they had never seen before. Here's Pepper Baker with that story.
These days, going to the grocery store is a normal task. You grab a cart, roam the aisles, and pick out whatever you'd like. Then you check out. A process that feels like it's been around forever.
So there was no such thing as a grocery store like we would see today.
Before 1916, grocery shopping was different.
There was no grocery industry except for distributors at that time.
Customers typically did not pick out their own groceries.
There were stores where you went in and there was like one or two people and you gave your list of everything you wanted.
Enter Clarence Saunders.
Clarence Saunders, when he was a young child, around 14, his family was extremely poor. And he had to go to work, and he went to work in a country store.
Eventually, he'd open his own store, but this Memphis businessman saw a flaw in the shopping experience and set out to change it.
He began to realize that it was kind of an inefficient way, and it wasn't the best way for the owner to make as much money as they possibly could.
This new way of shopping revolutionized the grocery industry worldwide.
And he had the idea of a self-service store where there weren't very many people working in it, and people could go through and choose their own items, and then they paid at a central location.
Piggly Wiggly first opened its doors at 79 Jefferson Avenue in downtown Memphis on September 6, 1916.
He stood at the door and he gave flowers to every woman that came in and balloons to every kid.
A historical marker now sits where the store once stood, but you can still get an idea of what it looked like.
This reproduction of a Piggly Wiggly store from the 1920s that we're in right now is actually inside of the Memphis Pink Palace Museum at Mosh.
No longer did customers have to wait for clerks to collect their purchases. Saunders created a system that gave customers the power to choose what they wanted to buy.
So they'd come in through a single turnstile so that he could control who comes in and where they go. And then the aisles were arranged so you had to go up and down every aisle.
Another feature that didn't exist before Piggly Wiggly, standardized price tags, which helped speed up the process.
He came up with a system of price tags that were little hooks that had little triangular things that you could write the price on.
Not only did customers have the power to decide what they wanted to buy, they knew what it would cost up front.
There just was nothing like that before.
And that sparked the creation of another industry.
Grocery marketing, as it exists today, had its origins in the Piggly Wiggly stores, where they were starting to compete for the customers. When he put like numbers of cans of spinach together or numbers of kind of boxes of oats together, and they were from different manufacturers, those manufacturers had to stand out better in order for the people to reach for theirs.
Eventually, Saunders lost control of his trailblazing company and lost much of his fortune in a Wall Street short-selling debacle. In the years until his death in 1953, Saunders would build and lose fortunes over and over through several businesses.
And so he opened a whole series of stores that were called Clarence Saunders, Sole Owner of My Name Stores. He started another grocery company called Key Doozle.
Nothing matched the pioneering impact of Piggly Wiggly. Today, you can still see Saunders' influence in the grocery industry.
But even in the checkout lane, there's your gum and all the different candy and different things, Cokes, that you can buy. That's a remnant of what he did.
Saunders' stamp is also all around Memphis, including the Pink Palace itself.
The Memphis Pink Palace Museum was named that because he decided to build what he felt would be like the most important, largest mansion in this entire region with his money, because The people that were already wealthy in Memphis kind of saw him as the nouveau riche, the new guy coming up, and he wanted to really show them.
No matter where you shop, remember the Memphis man who helped put the power to choose in your hands.
Clarence Saunders, the Piggly Wiggly was the basis for what we know today as the giant supermarket.
Pepper Baker for America's 250, Red, White, and You.